I'm wrong. I was 6 years old. I got kicked out of class for that shit.
Well, they told me that the reason why Christopher Columbus went sailing was to find out if the world was flat. That's what they
Right.
told me.
Right, he was
Man,
trying to see if he was gonna
that nigga got drunk and got lost and bumped into and bumped into where
Bumped into the yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, man, you
yeah.
know. Hey man, this man,
He's supposed to been trying to get back to Asia some goddamn where on the other side. He was trying some stupid shit. But it
right.
wasn't discover a goddamn thing. He just couldn't get around that big ass landmass, so he stayed for a minute.
Yeah, that's just
Wasn't
Oh
no way
yeah,
crazy.
man.
around. Wasn't no way around that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You know where around. And you know, man, this nation one love after dark, man. You know, we back, man. Y'all see the title, man. Y'all hit that like button, please like, share, and subscribe, man. It's your boy, your host, Key Norfolk, man, in the building with my brother Nino, with my brother T Wriggles, man. You know, an African American ain't never invented shit. Not even a super soaker. I gave him the super soaker. Shout out to my guest yesterday, man, Devontae Lott. You know, we did want to get an African the super soaker. But shout out to Lonnie Johnson, man. He from Mobile, Alabama. He invented the super soaker. I do want to pull up all of the so-called African American inventions, man, and I do want to show that all of these inventions were by Negroes, Negro American. We are foundational Black Americans, man. FBA in the building, salute. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. And it is a smoke show. All smoke welcome. An African American ain't never invented shit. Not
See,
even a super soaker. Let's get it.
let's just drop that African and that American, because these places was named by these Europeans, and this ain't even where they at.
mm.
This ain't
Well, I
America.
well, I gotta say is, for everyone that thinks that the brothers haven't made anything in America, there is a book by J.A. Rogers, and he lists 100 inventions that brothers made in America.
Yeah,
Oh
we,
yeah,
we
we
yeah we
invented
not
the
yeah, we
elevator,
not saying we
the
not saying
elevator.
brothers didn't make it. We saying African Americans didn't make it.
Ain't made shit. Ain't invented shit.
The
Hey, I think
indigenous the
this man,
indigenous black man discovered the light, the
right.
stoplight.
You know, we got a Negro who made hundreds of inventions out of a peanut. But ain't no African American invented shit. You know what I'm saying? That's my argument. African
No,
American,
okay,
you
I see
know,
what you're saying. I see
yeah,
What
what you're
is
saying.
Negro,
we
yeah.
trying to what is an African American? What is that?
Hey, you can well look. Isn't Elon Musk African American?
Elon
Yeah,
Musk is a real African American.
yeah. Now that's an African
That's
American.
an African American.
We found you found one, T. Rickles. You good?
I got one.
You got one.
How
You win the look. We can stop the show. You won the prize.
I won the prize, man. I come on down. The price is right.
Yeah.
Now you
Make
gonna have
him
a thousand
African
motherfuckers that look, but we gonna have to argue with these million motherfuckers that's gonna say he's not African American. But he's
Oh,
literally like by definition of what that shit is.
yeah. Hey, look. Whoa, 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 whoa. Isn't Obama? What did
Is
he
he
win the
what?
Nobel Peace Prize for? What did he win the Nobel Peace Prize for? Let me look that up.
he I think he you know, he passed all the he brought in the Rainbow Coalition. I thought that's what they gave him the Peace Prize for.
Oh
For
no.
international diplomacy and cooperation between peoples. Oh, you might be right.
He's the first man. He's the first man to wear a pair of mom jeans and shit. This nigga smoked a Newport and shot a 3-pointer, and nigga said he's black. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Yeah.
Man, at that point in time, motherfuckers just trying to get a win where they can get a win, brother. Motherfuckers just, hey, anybody, hell, they was saying Bill Clinton was the first black president. Hell, we said, hey, fuck it, we was for the term Bill on.
Hey man, we'll take Bill though. You know what I'm saying, for Obama, man. You know, Bill was getting was getting some head, man. Bill wasn't, you know, fucking with Michael and shit, man. Shout out to everybody out there, man. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Please like, share, and subscribe. Support the channel. Salute.
But the reason black people the reason they everybody accepted Bill, because Bill was a real Arkansas white boy. Motherfucker know what I'm talking about. Hey, a real Arkansas white boy, they get down.
Facts. You know, I want to listen. What did the African American invent?
Wait. I'm doing the janky Google, and the Google.
Can y'all see my screen?
Huh?
Can y'all see my screen?
I see T. Rigger's screen with this Google.
You can't see my screen on the screen share.
Google override everything. You know,
no, I see it.
I can see number Google.
Yeah. So, African Americans have made significant contributions to various fields through their inventions and innovations. Some notable inventions include automatic gear shift, automatic elevator doors, excuse me, the gas mask, the super soaker, and the traffic light. Now that super soaker, that's nasty. We gonna get it to the Africans. We gonna do this shit to the Africans. Gary Morgan, you should put that shit to yourself. The fucking super soaker, man. Come on, man.
Hey, wasn't there an African that he came up with something with Instagram? Weren't he an African?
Man, I don't African. I know I know the nigga at the bodega at the little African spot.
Oh, you ain't right.
The hair and the grease and shit. Elon Musk. Them the only Africans I know. Everybody else think they African. They might have a little African in them. You know what I'm saying? One way or another. But you know,
you said that an African was in their great grandmother or something.
In their great grandma, you know, African might be in there. You know, because look, so we need at least 5 gallons of water a week, or a motherfucker gonna die. If you don't have at least, well, let's say a month, right?
Hey, I won't debunk. I could tell you that's a lie. Your body is 70% water.
You're gonna need at least $5 in a month, man. In 3 months to travel over here, if 1,000 slaves on the ship.
Oh, you talking about on the ship? Okay, I ain't on the boat.
This is motherfucking 3 months. So that's 1,000 slaves. That's 5,000 a month. That's 15,000 in 3 months. So you mean to tell me they had 15,000 gallons of water on the ship to bring all the slaves over here? Because you can't drink the seawater. And then them motherfuckers were going to be so sick. Like, how much medicine and herbs and shit they had on that motherfucker, let alone food and, you know, guns, whips. And
the movie said they were sleeping in feces. Yeah, you'd have died in 2 weeks.
I found him. I found the African inventor. His name is Idris Sandu.
What he make? What he make?
The 26-year-old black genius from Ghana who created key algorithms used for Uber, Instagram, and more.
Hell nah, bitch shit, man.
He created the algorithms. He's a genius.
You know, that's like a nigga saying, "Hey man, let me show you how to turn your $500 in a 750 type of shit. Like, come on, man.
That's an African, right? So I thought you were talking about African American. Hey, man, I'm confused.
He
Man,
kind of
these
could be.
niggas made, you know, they made them sandals out of them fucking tires, though. I gotta take that back.
Oh
Shout out to
yeah,
the
that
ugly.
dude. Yeah, he
They
took
made them
the
sandals
garbage of
out
the
them
tires and
tires.
then made sandals.
But they
Yeah,
ain't
yeah.
invent shit, though. They ain't invent shit. I want somebody to come up here. It's a smoke show. African Americans ain't never invented shit. Not even the super soaker. Cause last night I got to shout out to my bro, Devontae Lott. You know, we said that them niggas invented the super soaker. Well, they ain't even invent that. And I ain't gonna keep saying super soaker too many motherfucking times, man. You know what I'm saying, man?
Let me see.
Yeah.
Let me, because that was let me just put.
Cat had that super soaker.
Yeah, they could have kept this shit. You know, a nigga could have, put some water in a big ass bottle and poked the hole in the side and squeezed that motherfucker and made it super soaker. You know, that ain't no invention,
Wasn't
man.
here
What
when
you
you
talking about?
wasn't here when I said. I said Cassie had that super soaker.
Yes, he has that super soaker.
Oh, what am I talking about? I got look. I got the guy.
Okay, what he was it?
His name is Maxwell
Oh, taking a beat.
Chikambutsu.
Maxwell Chikumbutsu. What this nigga is at?
He was able to convert air into electricity, and they tried to poison the dude. You know what I
I'm
mean?
saying, but where his shit at though?
Huh?
Where his shit at though?
In Zimbabwe.
So in Zimbabwe, they taking air. But man, he ain't invent this shit, man.
He did.
God
That's it.
invented.
He should
God
be
invented
the
this shit,
look.
man.
I did a
No,
video on him.
he hijacked this shit, man. That nigga trying to play God. I could pull electricity out the air, nigga. The electricity already there. That ain't my fault, dumbass niggas who believe they was African Americans believe ain't no electricity in the air. When you see lightning bolts striking through that motherfucker, you know it's electricity in the fucking air when you looking at it rain. We already know that. I'm talking about what these niggas invent.
So he was able to hone that.
He was homeless. He was
So what he
homeless.
did was he built a car. Look, he built a car to run on that. On
Somebody out
air.
the car.
Look, he should be man of the century.
No, man.
On God. He should be man of the century. Look, they trying to keep
God
that
has
thing
left
under
the
wraps.
building. God has left the building. He took off on that note, man. He took off.
Who Nino took off? He said,
God
"Man, I
took
ain't that."
off.
Oh yeah.
God took off.
Hey, look. And you know what's crazy? You know what's crazy about this?
Because look, the fucking nigga that had the wig on his head, Benjamin Franklin, he went outside and he tried to tell us that he was pulling the electricity out the fucking air too.
I think that he lied about that.
They both lying, man. God already did that. That came with this shit came with batteries, man. It came with electricity already in the air, man. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
Batteries was already
you know how Moses West takes the air and makes water. So Maxwell does this.
in the air though. I ain't talking about harnessing something or figuring some shit out. I'm talking about
Oh,
actually inventing something.
hey, that's a real deal. Look, that's a real deal invention. He broke one of the rules of thermodynamics. That's major.
Yeah.
Well, he's 44 years old. Okay.
Yeah.
They tried to kill this man.
Yeah, I don't know if he invented that. You know.
Man, T-Riggle, there's certain things that, you know what I'm saying, that exist and they know that it works and shit like that, that if they can't mass produce it or they can't make no money off of it, yeah, they gonna kill the motherfucker who telling the sleep.
Oh yeah, you already know.
Yeah, they gonna kill you fast. It's capitalism.
Yeah.
Right.
That's
That's just like they had everybody thinking that marijuana was bad. It was a demon drug until they figured out, hey, we can get tax money. Now it's the greatest thing on earth.
Facts.
Yeah,
Facts.
I don't trust them dispensaries, man. They
I
doing
mean,
something.
nah, that's why I mean that's why you gotta get. I mean, if you ain't in at the grow level, you don't know what it is. That's how it is.
Right.
'Cause just like anything else, they gonna put a little something in there to make this more addictive than this, just so you'll keep buying that strand.
Hmm. All right, look, I'm gonna find one for you.
I'm trying to get somebody, you know what I'm saying, the paying Africans, you know, new butter, man. I know y'all been watching my streams, man. I know y'all been basing the motherfucking titles off of what a nigga talking about. So can a paying African come tell me what a African American invented? Because if y'all want to be African Americans, so shall it be. But what have an African
So,
American invented?
I
so is the
found another
African,
one. I found another one.
So is the African American the people that come from Africa and then they come over here, they come to this land here and they want to be American, so that's when they get the money to open their stores and shit. That what you
Think
talking
for some strange reason there's a large group of individuals who believe that at one point all life started in Africa. For some reason, I don't know why they think this. I
because
know
everybody start with that. They say the elephant man bones, Keith.
right that carbon dating shit. So why
That's
we ain't going to China carbon dating that shit? Why we ain't going to Antarctica carbon
what they
dating that
saying.
shit? Why
What
we
they
ain't
say.
going
They
to
saying they
Tartaria?
did. They saying they did that already. They saying this because it's
Cause they told us Tartaria didn't even exist. They
they
won't even
told
let us go beyond the ice wall.
they told you a lot of things. And then whenever I catch they get a life sentence. And they done
They
did a
get a
lot.
life sentence.
All right, so I asked AI now.
Hey, I the devil now. Hey, I the devil. You
It
gotta
said
watch it. AI.
it said that Doctor
You talking about Allen
Salig.
Iverson? You talking about Allen Iverson?
No.
With you, bro. Go ahead.
Dr. Salig Percy Amoils invented the diamond. I can't say that word. Virectomy cutter. I guess he
See
cuts
it?
diamonds. An invention that cuts diamonds.
He made some shit that cut diamonds. Nah, man. I don't know.
I'm
You
trying.
know,
I'm trying to save the Africans right now. The African Americans. I'm trying to save them. Trying to.
Africans couldn't save themselves. They all drowned trying to come over here. And now
Oh
these niggas
no,
is trying to come back and possess us, talking about we the Africans and shit. They trying to climb out the water. They was way
wow.
in the water. You know what I'm saying? So them niggas died.
Oh, you ain't right.
Facts. Facts.
Oh well, it says I'm scrolling through. There's a video on YouTube. It's the New Africa channel, and there's a video that says 11 African inventors who changed the world.
Yeah, we gotta hear this.
Yeah. Look, I wish I could push play, but I gotta look on my phone. Let me see. I ain't got my hotspot minutes, man. My hotspot minutes, they running low. It's running low.
Oh yeah, man. I'm gonna drop the link, so just in case if anybody wanna come up, if anybody can give us an invention that the African Americans, brought forth. Salutes and shout out to everybody. Salutes out there. Let me see. Uh, hey, Flat Power. Salute, family. Flat Power. I can't pronounce those.
Hey, T. Rig,
Huh?
why you think the slave master convinced us that hell was under the ground?
Why?
Because we was digging, so they wanted us to quit digging. So they told us hell was under the ground. So then they started digging. So that's how they got. That's how they got all the gold. That's how they was getting the gold. You know, they wanted you to quit digging.
You know what? You know what, Nino? Where does gold come from? I'm trying to figure this answer out.
What do you mean? Where it come from?
You know,
It's a mineral.
the earth doesn't produce gold.
It come from inside quartz.
I think gold come from, the collective energy. I think it be from different blood droplets and shit they collect, blood droplets and oil droplets and shit. Now I could
It's a
be wrong. I'm
mineral.
telling you what I think.
It's a
I'm just
mineral. You got gold
yeah,
inside your body. It's a mineral.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when shit decompose and all that type of shit,
Yeah. But I'm saying
different
it
minerals.
produces stuff inside of a quartz rock.
All right, because you know what some say that a meteorite from outer space comes down and hits the ground, and like there's gold that's left from the deposit. That's a lie. And then the other thing they say is that gold is down where the volcano in the water is, and then what the volcano does, it pushes up all of that gold or whatever the hell how it's made, right? And it pushes it up to the surface.
Mhm.
Yeah, it naturally comes to surface on its own. But yeah, you got molten rock and shit that's under there. Yeah, yeah, you know. Yep. Then
But the
they
earth
came
does produce.
after they started digging. Then they came up with their last name. They was Rubenstein, Silverstein, Goldsmith. No, them they names.
But the earth does produce diamonds.
Yeah, on its own with the collective energy. That's what them diamonds be clear and shit. So they be like consciousness. But what I mean with gold and oil and shit like that, I think they deal with the fluids that's connected. Or the gold might have a lot to do with the bone dust and shit that's broke down, that's collected within the
Wow.
earth. And like I said, I'm just telling you what I
So,
think.
so I'm just saying, you see, how they always play with words, bro. That's like I was talking about, like, when they changed when they last name Goldstein, Rubenstein, and then where do you go to buy all these things at? A Jew restore. You know what I'm saying? They play with the words. They put themselves in power. They put themselves in power over everything. You know what I'm saying? Just think about the base word of jewelry is Jew.
All right, are y'all ready for this? I got my case for the African inventors. Y'all want to hear it?
Oh yeah, let's get it.
All right, let's see. Let's see.
And primarily a proponent of nuclear weapons defense. Another invention in medicine was the CardioPad, a touchscreen medical tablet invented by Mark Arthur, a Cameroonian. At the time of his invention, Arthur was 24 years old. The CardioPad is a touchscreen medical tablet that allows cardiac examinations, such as the electrocardiogram, to be done in remote, rural regions, while the test results are wirelessly transmitted to professionals who can interpret them. The technology eliminates the need for African patients in distant areas to go to urban hospitals for medical checks.
All right, there it is. There's one.
Nah, them was so-called African American. Them was Negroes. We can't get an African American.
TT Rigger, what he trying to say is these people that's calling themselves African Americans ain't African Americans, they indigenous people.
These niggas don't even know who they is, man. And then they get on here talking about they scholars and shit. They don't even know who they is. So, if you don't know who you is, then you definitely can't know where you at. And you definitely can't know what's going on. Cause my grandma and my great grandma and the ones before that ain't never said nothing about no Africa, boy. We used to call African Americans, we used to call Africans African booty scratchers. And we used to say, man, uh, man, I'm Indian, man. I got good hair. I got Indian in my family and shit like that. We used to call every time I ever heard the word Africa as a kid, booty scratcher came next. I'm not lying, man. I'm not making this shit up. I mean, now shout out to my African brothers and African others, because we got black Africans. And shout out to Elon Musk. Now he African American, he white, boy, he red. He almost orange like Donald Trump. But shout out to Elon Musk. Shout out to Mutombo. Rest in peace to Mutombo. You know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying.
Mutombo?
No,
right.
No, nigga.
No.
Nigga, Africa ain't really shit. Not even the Super Soaker. Because we said that yesterday. And I was going to give him the Super Soaker, but boy, Lonnie Johnson from Mobile, Alabama. Shout out to my brother Sanchez, man. Black motherfucking pal. Lonnie Johnson is from Mobile, Alabama. So he ain't no fucking African either. And they can't be giving themselves. We ain't shooting the hoop in they goal. We ain't shooting the ball in they goal. We know we foundational Black Americans. We know we always been here and always will be. So when it comes to African American inventions, where are they? Can a real African American man please stand up? Please stand up. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what the invention is. I'm waiting.
I'm gonna do some homework on this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like there's gotta be. This doesn't make sense. There's gotta be someone out there.
It's all in that naming game. So when they were saying that Columbus discovered America, he didn't discover America. He came over here and he named it America. And that's what they started, the Europeans started calling it, and that became popularized. They knew what they were saying exactly. You can't discover anything that's somebody's already standing right there.
So look though, you want me to tell you why I know what I'm talking about, T. Wriggles? Because why the fuck would an African come to America to invent some shit that ain't even been in Africa yet? Why would a fucking African come to America to invent some shit? So all of a sudden, when Africans came over here on that boat, they got smart. They knew how to grow corn and all this shit that they ain't never grew in Africa. They knew how to make heart monitors and shit that they ain't never had in Africa.
But they were doing on their boat.
Come on, man. They learned this shit on the boat. Come on, man. Stop. An African American ain't never invented shit, not even a Super Soaker. I'm standing on it.
Even in recent times?
Well, you got to see Rigger first. You got to find what an African American is. I'm trying to tell you, like, you said what they invented, man.
Okay, so what we saying is
that's a social construct.
Yeah, that what we saying is, so someone from Africa came over to America, invented something, and then went back home.
That it wasn't even in Africa week. I mean, no, they stayed. So apparently they stayed here,
They stayed here so where somebody believed the shit that they were selling.
And they from Africa so bad that nothing in their mind ever wanted them to go back home. And none of their family members missed their ass neither. Matter of fact, the niggas that did go back, when they went over there, the Africans over there said, we don't know you, nigga.
Oh yeah, I'm now you're gonna have me doing this. I gotta do some digging now, man. Because I know what you're saying, Keith. I know what you're saying. But there gotta be somebody. There's somebody out there that came over here, went to school, and then said, you know what, I'm gonna create something, right? And here you go, brothers.
Yeah, so I'm glad you explained what an African American is. So now that we know what an African American is, now we can find them. They just not who you thought they were.
Right.
Right. Elon Musk is the African American.
That's straight up.
Straight up.
Who
But he
wanna
didn't
debate?
but he didn't even invent Tesla. He just stole the goddamn the patents and shit.
Right.
Tesla invented Tesla.
Correct.
That's facts.
You know, stole the whole man name and everything. Tesla invented this whole shit. You know, even
That's
them,
a cool
let me
cat.
tell you what else they invented. Look, you know them UFOs everybody say they seeing, right? Now, why 5 or 6 to 10 years ago they start showing us these levitate machines and shit? You know, they got the bikes and shit that levitate. You remember they had them and shit? So now all of a sudden we seeing all these UFOs everywhere. Man, fucking stop the games, man. This is Tesla's way.
When the indigenous people, before they started believing what they was told, you know what I'm saying? You could levitate, but you just gotta believe that you can levitate, and that's what they took. They took your belief system, so you quit believing that you could. So that's why you can't.
Right. It's just like telekinesis. And then we proved that the other day too, Rick, right? Oh, I saw that red band today too. But we proved the telekinesis shit the other day, and we ain't got to explain it to everybody because only me and you know that. But
Yeah.
you see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
if you get up in the morning and you don't believe that you can put your feet on the floor, you ain't gonna get out the fucking bed. If you say, "Oh my God, I can't get out the bed," "Oh my God, I can't," if your anxiety get you, you ain't gonna even get out the bed, man. That's fact. Somebody gonna have to help you out there, motherfucker.
And you know how you can prove that? You know when a baby start walking, a baby always start walking when ain't nobody looking at it. And when you look at that baby, the baby fall down, right?
Facts.
Right, because it was you know what I'm saying. It wasn't thinking what it was doing, but then when you ooh, that's when the baby falls. Same principle. You can fly.
Hey man, I'm gonna run this show all week. African American ain't never invented shit. Not even the super soaker, man.
I'm gonna find one.
Where the Pan Africans at though? You know, they should be.
You already did, man, Mr. Elon. Hey man, since we can't get nobody to talk about that, let's talk about this. What happened with old Elon and Donna, man? How they fall out like that, man?
Who?
They banging like Christmas balloons. What's going on with them?
They did the deep fake on us. You know, first Trump deep fake getting shot. You know, listen. So tell me now, we still know the man who shot Abraham Lincoln name, John Wilkes Booth. Boy, he famous. We know the nigga who shot JFK. What's his name? David
Lee Harvey.
Lee Harvey Oswald. James Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay, Lee Harvey Oswald. Okay, so who is the dude who shot Donald Trump? I'm gonna wait. This just happened. I'm gonna wait. Who the dude who shot Donald Trump?
Without looking at the computer,
the one they blamed it on.
Yeah.
With Donald
Without
Trump
looking at the computer.
When he popped that ketchup package on his ear, and then he had a brand new ear 2 days later.
Dude had the IQ of a 12-year-old and was able to get up on a roof past Secret Service and everything to take that shot. And he's
I don't
supposed to,
believe that, man.
be
And
mentally
then,
challenged.
and then we got ignorant people who will say, "Man, we got the best plastic surgeons in the world." When nigga, I seen Jenna Jameson's titties, but it still took 6 weeks for them bitches to heal, for the stitches to heal in them motherfuckers. You couldn't suck them titties for 6 weeks. This nation will love out the dark, man. I'm gonna keep it raw and real, man. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
This
look,
bullshit. I call it
look, I feel
bullshit.
you. I feel you. Look, they're calling that bullshit because look, right now in 2025, we got people thinking still that terrorists brought down them twin towers now. Like, come on, yo. Come on now.
They should have
Fact.
known that. They should have known that when they flew the Bin Laden out of the country.
Yeah, yeah. Hey man, look, I'm running up my hot
Nobody
spot.
fly.
I'm running up my hot spot minutes, man. Look, I love y'all, brothers, man. But you know what I'm saying? I'll be back though. I'm coming back strong. I'm coming
Oh,
back
yeah,
strong.
man. I need somebody, man, to come on
Man,
in.
I'm finna put up a GoFundMe for T Rigger some gigabytes, man. I want everybody to go on. Hey man, they got my guy, man. They done took his internet, man. We gotta get this back on, man.
Look, Nino, look, I'm trying to tell everybody, man. Look, if I'm not top 3 targeted individual in the world right now, I'm gonna be so pissed off. I'm working too hard. They drop in EMP, knocking my Wi-Fi out, electricity. Look, it's going down, y'all. I'm staying strong. I'm fighting. I love y'all, man. Salutes to y'all, brothers, man.
Hey, man, we love you too, brother. Peace and power, man. You know what I'm
Go.
saying? You man, these motherfucking African Americans. I'm sick of it. I was thinking about the question my brother Dennis Alston asked, and shout out to my brother Dennis Alston. Who he think God is, and like I said, after 607 said God was Sophia, I quit asking niggas who they think God is. And then I thought about some more shit that was said, and it was said that African Americans invented the Super Soaker. So I was like, let me check out who invented the Super Soaker, and it was Lonnie Johnson. And Lonnie Johnson is from Mobile, Alabama. Mobile, Alabama, man. You know, it's a crazy thing that we have to, um, you know, we have to disconnect, you know, reset and then reconnect. But a lot of people is afraid of the disconnection, man. And it's a lot of people who are under the illusion of inclusion because it's a lot of people who want their cake and eat it too. But in this society that we live in, you can't have your cake and eat it too because we in a burning house. We've been uh you know socially integrated into a burning house to where the house ain't gonna never stand. And we just supposed to burn up with the house. We could tell this shit because they terraforming the air,
Martin
the
Luther
water.
King told you that. I
Facts.
apologize for leading you into that burning building,
Facts, man.
man. It's been going on.
That's big facts, man.
And
Um,
then we was talking about who shot Trump, man. They figured that out in a few minutes. They already had, because they already had they tattoo. Every hit throughout history done had a tattoo that was ready to take the blame for it. They can tell you that, but they can't tell you who killed Tupac.
can't tell us who killed Tupac, but we know who killed Donald Trump in 2 minutes. I mean,
Right.
who shot Donald Trump in 2 minutes?
For
And
two
Donald Trump
minutes.
ain't even had no bullet wound.
2 minutes.
He didn't have a scar. He ain't had nothing. And then I had people arguing me up and down saying, man, we got the best plastic surgeons in the world. Well, that shit still take time to heal. Like,
Yeah,
I
it
can't
don't
just,
matter how good the surgery was. Skin don't rejuvenate overnight.
It's gonna be red or something, man. Have some
That shit
stitches
would have
in it.
been, man, that shit would have been swollen and everything, man. That's trauma. You talking to a motherfucker who been shot before. I know that shit don't work like that. I done been
Right.
shot and I done been shot and I done been grazed. When I got grazed, it was still a keloid scar right there.
Right. Still a keloid.
Yeah. So that the next day that shit was puffing, that shit was sore in the motherfucker. And shit, if you get shot in your ear, ain't no way your speech gonna be clear like that the next day either.
Right. Your whole head gonna be swollen.
Nah, that's what I'm saying. Like your speech. I mean, you know what I'm saying? If something go wrong with your ear, key, that's your equilibrium. You ain't gonna be able to walk. You know what I'm saying? If you shoot a
Right.
gun by your ear, shoot a gun by your ear. You know what I'm saying? The loudness of that gun gonna have you thrown off for a few days. Man, he was talking a perfect speech. His tone would have been off. Everything would have been off. It's your ear, bro.
Right.
Ear control a whole lot of things that you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So, man, that's crazy.
When those glands in your ear get infected, they call it vertigo, right?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, the women be
You
having
know what I'm
vertigo.
saying? So if you get shot anywhere by your ear and have any kind of trauma, the next day it's gonna be some kind of ill effect to it. You know what I'm saying? So, and when some get hit by a bullet, you see fragments, and fragments gonna jump out. So I don't know what they got struck by. I don't know what gland, but it wasn't that was one of them capsules that you buy on Halloween.
Yeah, motherfucker had to hit him with a penny or something, man, but he ain't get shot.
Give me some.
That little boy that they pulled up and said that was on that roof,
Boy,
he
that
didn't,
boy
that
they
boy was
slain. Boy they
yeah,
slain on that boy they slain on that roof. Get that boy.
man, threw him up there.
Got that boy.
Threw him up there, man. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, man, they pulling a deep fake off, acting like they ain't cool and shit. Because Trump, like, damn, man, what the shit you finna do? Everybody finna be upset because I said I was going after the deep state. So now what you doing is you taking all our information and you finna embed encrypt all our information into this new world system order. See, in China, when they see your retina in your eyes, it already tell everything that's on your driver license and shit, your medical history, your social status, all this shit. That's what they trying to do over here, man. Bro was doing it the other night on the show, telling that's what they trying to do. It's like some Navy, some Army, military shit that they been had going on, but this the new world order. The mob is in control. The mob handing out money. This a business. So we the people not looking at this like it's a business. People looking at it like it's a country. We all trying to live in harmony. The country got our best interests at hand. When in fact that's not true at all. That's not what's going on. What's going on is this is a business, and in the business of America, it's show business. It's the business of America. The world is a stage over here. Entertainment is key. Entertainment is conversation. Entertainment, that shit rule this nation. You know what I'm saying? So that's where we at over here. And that's what we need to overstand so that we can start seeing past these fakes and shit, all this fake ass propaganda and shit that's coming from the political parties and with the whole political agenda, man. It's just keeping people stuck, keeping people in survival mode. When if people can overthink that shit, man, we can override that shit, man, and start trying to figure out how the fuck we gonna book this system. Cause them people over there in Memphis sick right now, man. You know about the plant they got over there in Memphis, right? Yeah, bro must have timed out.
Who that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was saying, you know about the plant they got over there in Memphis, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, them people over there getting sick, man, and we just sitting here, steady trying to figure out Trump and Musk, and when these niggas playing the game, he already gave them the Doji. The
And
Doji took it.
like I say, all that master, everything that's been going on has been set up for what Israel was gonna do, bro. So everything has been a big throw off, a big fake. 'Cause they knew Israel was finna bomb Iran. You know what I'm saying? And Israel always supposed to be the peaceful, non-violent, but they fired that first shot. Either way you look at it, you know what I'm saying? Either way.
Yeah, you right. You
They
right. They showed
fired
them.
that first shot. You know what I'm saying? When two people used to get to arguing, they say, motherfuckers say, that motherfucker be like, I ain't in it, I'm Israel. You know what I'm saying? Because Israel ain't supposed to be a war state like that. But, it is what it is, man. That's what everybody needs to be watching right now. That's what's really going on. Hello?
Oh
Hello?
yeah, oh yeah. That's a fact. That's a fact because
They cut me off for saying that one, bro. That was,
nah,
that's
that's a
that,
fact.
that's that secret news that's going on right now.
That's
Everybody
a
needs to
fact.
watch, man.
Israel took their first shot.
Right. It's real repercussions behind what's going on. You know what I'm saying? If anybody think that the United States not going to war by Israel, you must don't know the history of the whole setup on Israel. All those countries that we went to war with, Iraq, you know what I'm saying, was supposed to be, what it was, who that Saddam Hussein, they needed to put a base in Iraq. That's all it was. Everybody thought it was about the oil. Then when they did, then when they went to Afghanistan, it's supposed to have been about terrorists. But if you look at all those countries on the map, all those countries surround Iran. They surround Iran. So the simple fact they wanted to put bases all around there. So whatever Iran fires, that we had to counter ballistic missiles to stop it from blowing Israel off the map. You know what I'm saying? Because the way it was at first, Iran just could have blew Israel up at any time it felt like it. But we've been setting up over the last 30, 40 years to defend Israel. So,
Facts.
so what they finna do to Iran, we ain't seen in this lifetime. You know what I'm saying? They finna really obliviate that place, bro.
Yeah,
You
they finna
know,
go in on that bitch, but see,
I mean,
Iran got the
it
motherfucking
ain't
nuke.
even it ain't even about it ain't even about them going in on it. They finna neutralize that. We've never seen this. Like it's not gonna exist the way you ever seen it before again. So get ready for that. That's why we got all these fake protests going on and everything else to throw you off the big picture. What they finna do to Iran? Well, when they finna annihilate that whole right, they finna blow that place off the map, bro. But the repercussions is we'll never know. It's gonna be a fallout behind it, but hey, that's the big plan. That's the big secret. That's what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on that, man. But Iran got
Uh,
their ally.
uh, all this shit was to get us out. The P Diddy trial going on. They trying to do anything to keep your mind off of what they was finna do. And that's been the whole plan of it all right there, bro.
Mm. Yeah, man. You know, I know that, you know,
I ain't want to
see,
say
this
that
is,
they might not let us back on it.
yeah, we on. We still on. Yeah, we still on. You
And
know,
it's the time. I don't know who need to hear it, but that was when they was talking about, wars of all wars, the ending wars. That's what right there is real, bro. When have you ever, who have Israel ever went to war with?
no, nobody. I mean, they been having like some little shit, the controversy to gear up to go on the war, but Israel been
Right. But when
standing
the
behind.
controversy start, who always step in? The big brother always take care of their battle.
Right,
Like they trying to say we not involved, bro. Watch how your price is gonna show you that we are directly involved. We are controlling now. I mean, man, come on now. And when I say we, I mean the United States. Like, bro, this finna get real deep, real fast.
oh yeah, it's gonna get real bad real fast because they took that first shot, and then Iran got the people who ride with them. They got Iraq. I think they got North Korea. You know what I'm saying? So, man,
We done stepped up for them, man. You got Russia, you got China, you got all of them saying they finna ride with them. You know what I'm saying? That's why the United States saying, "Oh, we're not involved, long as you don't take a U.S. base." Well, you surrounded the place with U.S. bases, so anywhere that they do get a missile off, it's gonna hit something that you gonna say that affected you.
right, it's gonna hit a
You know what
U.S.
I'm
base.
saying? Look how many U.S. citizens are in Israel, bro. Just period. So anytime if you shoot a bullet in Israel, you subject to hit America. If you go to the border and shoot a blind shot, you might hit America. That's just how many Americans are
Yeah, yeah,
there.
it's
Holy,
crazy.
that's they holy land. They
That's
got a
they
lot
whole.
got a lot of secrets hidden inside of Israel. What country do you know got Israel got a whole underground, bro? What country do you know got a big enough infrastructure built underground where all your citizens go underground? Israel.
Yeah,
Everybody in the bunker. It ain't like here you will have the elite, you will have this person. You know what I'm saying? They have certain people that gets to go in the bunker. We already know they've been doing it. You know what I'm saying? They've been
right.
doing it. But it ain't enough for every person on this continent to go in there. But Israel got that already infrastructure already built underground, bro. It's been a plan for a long time.
Yeah, they've been having this shit in the play for a minute.
Mhm.
They've been having this shit in the play for a minute, and because they've been talking about rebuilding the temple over in Jerusalem, from the biblical times, you know what I'm saying? All the way back from Solomon and King David. This some shit that we not really paying attention to. And then when the New Age movement came, they kind of took everybody's mind off of the Bible. So when nobody thinking about these prophecies and shit like that, when nobody thinking about Israel. But this is what they've been doing the whole time. And Israel is gonna be like a super city too. This is supposed to be
Look at
where
look
they're building. This
Look at
supposed to
all,
be
look at all, look, and then look. Okay, so everybody underground, so they ain't, you really can't kill the people, right? Like that, right? In Israel.
right.
So what they doing is these missiles that they saying touch the missiles that they saying touch down and hit this. They gonna tell you that they destroyed all the stuff that they told you was there that never was really there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? All these monuments like you talking about and these sacred sites. That's what's gonna get blowed up.
Yeah, they talking about rebuilding the temple, and then in the Bible, that's where the new heaven's supposed to be. That's where Jesus is
Yeah.
supposed to come down, and his throne supposed to be set in Israel. Jesus' throne supposed to be set in Israel. This is where the new heaven's supposed to be, according to prophecy. But man is playing God. The man of the Bible is playing God, with this whole Vatican agenda. You know what I'm saying? This was the whole shit with the Pope and all that. See, people not getting it. It's going over people's head because people too confused and arguing with each other and not really paying attention to what's really going on. Like you said, this the big trick. Then Israel threw the first lick to go on kick it off because they already know what it is. It's already been written within scriptures. It's part of the script. See what I'm saying?
Man, they've been covering the secret up. I'm telling you, what they say there ain't there.
Right.
And so they finna tell you that it got destroyed by Iran. They finna demonize Iran like they always been doing. They know everything. Look how Iran is landlocked by all these places. So anything Iran got was bought into them by some of these surrounding states that they saying right now that's going against them. They know exactly what Iran got and what Iran don't have. So, man, it's all like you say. Now, y'all want to talk about the deep cover ups. You know what I'm saying? We talking about what Elon and they over here playing games.
Yeah, it's some real
They
shit
ain't
going
playing no
on
games
too.
over there.
Nah, it's some real shit going on.
Yeah.
They
And
they trying to.
and just think of everything that been going on since this election to all this, man. This man got convicted of 43 felons and still won, bro. Sleepy Joe went to sleep.
Sleepy Joe went to sleep, man. It's like they put some shit in his drink.
How she gonna win? Trump been planning to win the election since the day of the insurrection when he got kicked out. Cause that's what happened. He got kicked out the White House. So he been playing his strategy the whole time. She had 3 weeks, 4 weeks to come up with a presidential plan to run. How
Right.
was she gonna win? How could she win?
How could she win? And then
This
what
man
nigga
got a
don't know?
supercomputer in Memphis, so whoever he wanted to win was gonna win. But see,
Right.
what happened was now that they done got into it, they know a lot of secrets being leaked and all that shit. So that's why they had to speed up the plan and go ahead and send the missile into Iran.
Right. Before
When
people
they got
go
to
on
look
took
at the
in.
timing of everything, bro, man, if you've been in the streets, you know how war go, you know how strategy go, you know all that. So bam. When this
Right.
dude, when them two get into it, bam, they okay. So the gig is up. So the plan we got that we had in effect, we got to go on and do it now because everything about the election, everything about how he bought that election, because he done basically came out and told you he bought the election for Trump. If it wasn't for him, he wouldn't have won.
Right.
So, you know what I'm saying? Before they hit the fan, they gonna make everybody, oh, we at war, we have to be with our press, man. All that shit ain't nothing but press and publicity, dog.
Yeah. And then they finna turn this bitch into China, with that and they already done hacked all our information and all that shit. But then with this war kicked off, that's finna okay everybody giving up their information. Okay, yeah, I gotta give my information up because it's a war going on. So I'm finna allow them to be able to scan my eye. I can't walk down the street without anything knowing. If anybody got any type of warrants, anything like that, bro, or child support, anything, or if you got like a heinous crime or anything. Like, and then a lot of people gonna say, well, we want those people to be, you know, entrapped or what I'm saying? We want those people to be caught up, but that's gonna cause another half of the people to be caught up that didn't do shit. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they're gonna use the guise of this war to push a lot of the agendas that they got pushing for, and that's what's gonna be the motive to allow this shit, the war. But this war done took place behind our backs. While everybody talking about P. Diddy, while everybody talking about Trump and Musk, Israel has attacked Iran. So now we into it with Iran, Iraq, China, North Korea, all them
Nah,
niggas
look, that's what I'm trying to tell you. We been took those places. You been took Iraq. You took
right,
Iraq from Saddam Hussein.
right, 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 right.
You been took them mountains that's right beside it in Afghanistan. Just look all around Iran. Only way Iran can run is through the water, bro.
Right.
It's
But
surrounded by all them
you
ain't nothing.
still got a few people who fled, who in other countries, who
Look,
still down.
it showed you in the Iraqi war. We already had Kuwait. That was our base anyway. So that's why it was so easy to defeat Iraq. We was right beside them. So then we took Iraq. So then what you think they built over there when they built another base, bro? Then in the water, you got the whole Navy is right there on the other side. Iran is surrounded, bro. That's why every missile they shoot is really getting shot down. The missiles that's touching down, they're the ones that we shooting from our bases to destroy the shit I'm telling you they destroying right now. Ain't nobody shoot shit into Iran. I mean into Israel, but us. Don't believe me? Just watch. If you look at the news coverage when they showing you all the missiles that's getting intercepted, then one will go off in a particular place, and they'll say, "Oh, that one touched down." Well, that just tore up something that they want to tore up any fucking way. And that shit control chaos.
Yeah, so they can now start raising all this money to try to rebuild some shit that was never there anyway, or that they
Right.
told the
So
fuck was in the
that's
first
why
place.
I don't never speak on because I know how this shit is and I know what's really going on. You know what I'm saying? Everybody on this mass confusion. Ain't no such thing as race no more. Everybody talking about what race is this, what race. Ain't no such thing. It ain't never been no such thing. All that shit is confusion to get the agenda pushed through or what they really doing. You can't have another cocaine epidemic to fund no wars. You got to get the money from somewhere. Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's a fact, man. That's a big fact, man. You
Mm-hmm.
know, World War III is at hand, but really ain't no war. They just really pushing their agenda, man.
Right. So
They
that's why I say everything now, bro. Is spiritual. If you ain't on the right side of your spirituality, you don't stand a chance. No way. And they talking about the end of the time, rumors of war. Here you go. It ain't gonna end like everybody think it's gonna end, but hey, to each his own. They gonna try it.
right. I think what they gonna try to do, like they faking this shit over there, like they faking these protests and shit. Then they gonna come back and do a mass depopulation. They gonna say shit. All these motherfuckers who thinking all this different shit, who ain't really just riding what we saying. Let's just go and get rid of them, and then we can start the motherfucking.
Right. I mean, the race shit was
Now we
that
can
it was the
start
race
shit over again.
that shit that he kicked that shit out. That's how he. I'm telling you, he kicked that shit out from the beginning for us to think that now everybody knew. Now they were talking about mass deportation. Why you didn't start in California? Why you didn't start your move in California when it first started? Everybody know that why. That's Mexico. So why wouldn't you start there? Why wouldn't you start in Texas? At first, when they first started doing that shit, they were getting motherfuckers talking about in Ohio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They would get motherfuckers out of, they would get the Mexicans in Idaho.
They came to North Carolina, man. They came to North Carolina deep. I'm like, damn, bro,
Look,
they ain't in Cali like this. Ah, yeah, you muted. You muted. You muted yourself, bro. Shout out to everybody, man. If y'all feel
you hear me?
yeah. Oh yeah, I can hear you now.
Yeah, so they started in all those small places like that. You gotta look at it. They was getting motherfuckers out of Omaha. You know what I'm saying? They talking about they doing ice raids in Omaha. Ain't gonna be no uprising there. And when you will go to LA, soon as he got into it with what his partner, then they talking about they going into LA. Everybody act like they was surprised the National Guard. He said that he was gonna send the National Guard anyway. That's why he been into it with California governor the whole time. Man,
Right.
anybody ever lived in LA, anybody ever went to California? The Mexicans is the majority, not the minority, partner.
They're the majority out there. Man, I lived in LA for a year, man. You know, shout out to my people over there on 55th, Figueroa, 59th, Figueroa over there in the jungle, man. You know, the Mexicans is the majority.
They the
The Mexicans,
majority.
yeah,
So
they
and
already
so
know.
so soon as they needed to throw up something big for everybody to look at, what they do? They said they was gonna raid ICE in LA. They knew that shit wasn't gonna fly. That's just like they were talking about they was gonna fight the cartel. For what?
For what?
For what? Why is you fucking with them? And they helping you out more than anything in the world.
Right. Right. What a motherfucker don't know. You know what I'm saying? So
Yo,
it's all
Gotti
a deep
just
thing.
said, shout out to the Mexicans. Y'all got a nigga ass in.
Got a nigga ass in, man. You know.
So
But then here come this
so motherfuckers
uh
play these games like they don't know what's going on, man. Y'all can sit there and y'all can say, you know, they got the biggest thing, like this whole show was about like this. They done finally telling the, letting out enough information that all the people of color over here know you indigenous. You already been here. We already know that, but they got them fighting with the Africans. You know what I'm saying? They got them going. Man, it was all set up as a design anyway.
right, it was all a design.
It
You
was
know,
all a design, man.
we think this shit going on and it's a motherfucker pulling the strings the whole time and they go along with the script.
Hmm.
See, it ain't prophecy, it's planning.
It's planning. It's a movie.
It's a movie going on. You know what I'm
Just
saying?
like the space landing, you seeing it all over again. Just like the moon landing.
Big facts. Big facts. But we got so many people who brain tuned in to their television tube, to their news station that you can't tell them nothing. And they steady thinking that the shit they voting on and the shit they watching and voicing their opinions on matter. But it really don't, because these people gonna do what the fuck they want to do anyway. It wouldn't have mattered who was the motherfucking president right now. Trump got the name, the Trump card. It's the last card on the motherfucking table. That's why they say Trump is the last president. But people ain't getting it. It's going above their heads, man.
And now look at the protest. What they calling it? The King protest.
Yeah, yeah,
Cause
the
that's
no
how he
king,
moving. He
the
moving
no
like a
king.
king.
Well, they said the no king
Yeah.
protest. You
So
remember
they saying no king. They saying he not
no
the king.
king? So then Rodney King protest was the last one. That was 33 years and 33 days ago. 33 years and 33 days later, it went from the Rodney King ride to the no kings ride. Rodney King to no king. Come on, man. This is a big play on words and shit, man. You know, they double talking and we gotta be able to peep this shit out, bro.
But man, We could peep it out. We could peep it out all day, but you ain't gonna have enough people. Like just like everybody you join on the panel, everybody everywhere. What is now?
They sitting back stuck. Everybody divided. Everybody like, no,
There you go.
I feel like this. And Will Key said some shit yesterday I really don't agree with. So, all this here shit. But they steadily, it's been more and more division with the real shit. That's why I told them, motherfucker, man, I'm not finna be up here arguing with niggas.
And
I'm gonna
then
say
and,
what I
and then
feel
that's just like I was telling you, like
like.
about with platform like 607, and you wondering why he was coming down, you know, to smaller platforms because that's where he was getting information. They need information.
He had to come to get the information. Then he came out and said, he said, "Oh yeah,
Yeah,
man, I've been listening to you and Sanchez for years."
right.
People think I'm just doing this shit with this nigga. Like, I
Yeah,
fuck
no,
with
no,
him.
I ain't saying that. I'm just saying that's just how it works, bro.
Right. No, not
I
you.
ain't saying nothing
Mhm.
about it, but like you say, you been had people like brother saying, everybody but just putting out real information, but you ain't getting the views, you ain't getting the likes because that shit all the algorithm because you ain't pushing their agenda.
Right.
It ain't helping them out. You ain't spreading mass hysteria.
Right. And then the niggas who really on the entertainment shit, who they let ride with the algorithm, they like shit. Let me go back to these small niggas, cause these niggas the one got the information. That 607 unhold aim anyway. He say, bro, I'm finna get y'all niggas paid because shit, y'all niggas the one deserve to get paid. I've been learning from y'all. This came out his own mouth. You know what I'm saying? And now they looking at him like he the spiritual guru. Well, nah, I ain't saying he not. If that's what he want to be, if that's what y'all want him to be, that's fine. And that's my guy. Shout out to him and shit.
Right.
You know,
And that's
but,
and
but
that's the whole thing what I was trying to explain to the motherfuckers that night about the half Illuminati last street. I'm telling you, like he know what these motherfuckers doing because he done played that game before. You know what I'm saying? If he done
facts.
play, if he done played that game before, he know what they doing. So he know that where the money is. He know how to go get the money, but he want the real information for his own salvation.
Right. For his own salvation so he can know. You know what I'm saying? When he came back, and that was our whole thing. I'm like, wait a minute, man. You can't come back and spit my own shit back at me that I've been spitting for the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and then sitting up here talking to me like I'm fucking stupid and like you teaching me something when you been learning from me. Nigga, that's blasphemy. What are we doing here? Oh yeah, man.
Like it go back to the basics, like Grandma and them was saying, get yourself right with God.
Right. You
For
know,
real.
even like I told the nigga though, if you know God the creator, you right. If you say your higher self, God, you right. Either way, you better get in line with before you find yourself in a motherfucking mess, man, because it's going down and there ain't no way to fucking stop these people because you think somebody else finna stop them and them the motherfuckers who helping them.
Out of hand now.
It's out of hand. Now we going by the book. So now they already did their little test run with the pandemic to see how many motherfuckers that they got going along with this motherfucking uh uh uh, uh medical agenda. See what I'm saying? So they know when they come out with some new shit, they ain't doing nothing but dumping these motherfucking microchips off in a motherfucker, these receptors. So when this shit scan your retina and shit, or when or when you see certain things on the outside, the receptors on the inside gonna make this shit turn into your whole reality.
I'm just gonna
Now
I'm
we
I'm just gonna break it down basic. Like everybody was talking about the mark of the beast. And they say, everybody was gonna have a choice, and you was gonna have a choice to do this, a choice to do that, right? They just hit it up under sickness.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? They hit it up on the major outbreak.
Right. That's a
So
fact.
what you think it went away because a certain amount of people got vaccinated so it wasn't spreading? Then all of a sudden, no, it ain't as lethal as we thought. Nah, because the human body, man, anytime anything is introduced, it's gonna fight. It's gonna find a way to fight it. You know what I'm saying? That's just like they tell you to take. Babies need to go outside and shit so they can get immune to the allergies and everything in the air. So the body was gonna naturally, you know what I'm saying, create something to fight this strain that you made up of this disease. And so that's why it started getting weaker because it wasn't affecting people no more because they had created antibodies, they had created immunes to it.
Right. That's a fact. Now the body gonna create natural antibodies to fight off anything.
Right. And the natural antibodies.
That's why they tell you to take the baby outside. If the sickness
Mhm.
is outside, then why the fuck would you take the baby outside? But then
Right.
they told your grown ass don't go outside. They wanted you to stay in the motherfucking house. Now make this shit make sense.
Right.
And that
I'm
was a
telling you, and
military
then all
question.
of a sudden, okay, we're gonna open up outside a little bit. Everybody start going back outside, you still had your little COVID here, COVID there. When the last time you heard somebody died of COVID?
Nobody.
Right.
Nobody,
They wasn't
man.
dying of COVID no
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah.
motherfuckers having pneumonia. Pneumonia been killing motherfuckers from the beginning of time.
Right. Right. But yeah, man, they ain't nobody been, that shit ain't been
Then, of
did
course, I mean, they were
nothing.
saying, it was killing like older people and shit like that. Yeah, it was. Anything that because they've been here all this time on Earth. This shit ain't been around. Now all of a sudden, it's around when their immune system is weak and they can't produce nothing to fight.
Right. And then when they motherfucking fucking with they respiratory system, and then they go in there with them respirators, and they like shit. Well, these some of the last motherfuckers
All
that's
right,
still alive
look how
that really
look how
got
the
this shit
motherfuckers
in
you
here.
just said it a few minutes ago. Look how the motherfuckers get sick around that plant in Memphis.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's all happened. One of them little plants. So once somebody fucked up, that shit got out. It got the spread, and they knew motherfuckers was gonna die. They created something to say that it was this. Most of the motherfuckers, like man, motherfuckers was dying of heart attacks, and they was putting goddamn me.
They was
What's the
putting the
name? They was put what's the
C-19.
name
They
on the
was
death
putting the
certificate.
C-19 on the death certificate.
Right. So
They
it
put the
wasn't it
C-19.
wasn't that it was more people dying. It was just that what you was putting on that death certificate.
Right.
It was the
You know,
same amount of people that been dying. People die every day, B.
yeah, people die every
Every
motherfucking
day.
day.
You know what I'm saying? So instead of putting what they died of, like, oh, they died of heart attack, they died brain aneurysm, they was putting COVID. So of
Yeah.
course the numbers shot up. They needed the numbers to show.
Yeah. Then they
Them the
was giving
same
some
motherfucker
more
died.
death.
And if you listen to crazy ass Donald Trump, what he say? People gonna die who ain't never died before.
People gonna die who ain't never died before.
Now listen to that statement and unpack that shit. Everybody that die every day ain't never died before.
Everybody who died, man. That shit was crazy, bro. When that
But
nigga
I'm
said,
saying, he. I mean, you can't give a motherfucker like that a secret and think they gonna hold it. You know what I'm saying?
well, he can't if he tried to.
That's what
It's
I'm
like
saying. That's what I'm saying. You taking a motherfucker who, man, that's just like Ronald Reagan became the president, an actor.
people, people gonna die
Uh,
who
but
ain't
listen to
never.
this. Listen to this. An actor became the president.
Man, Donald
All
Trump
he
was an
did was
actor.
all he did was act, bro.
Donald Trump was an actor.
That's Okay, now you getting it. Shit, Jamie Foxx can be the best president we ever had.
Oh man, and he played the damn president in 2 or 3
That's
movies.
played the president. You see what I'm saying, man?
Yeah,
Man,
man.
come on, man. You couldn't have told nobody 50 years ago that Donald Trump was gonna be the president. They would have told you was a silly motherfucker.
Silly, man. This nigga that's in the 50-50 club doing all that blow and shit, man, with all them black girls, man, that nigga ain't finna be the
I'm
fucking
saying
president.
these ain't. He never was, man. When since he been an academic, bro? When has
Man,
being smart ever been his thing?
never. He been kicking it, getting fucked
But you
up.
get this nigga the keys to the kingdom. Come on,
He
bro.
not even a smart businessman. What successful business did he ever really have? All his been the Trump Towers, he had all this shit. All this shit failed over there. Go look at this shit now. Somebody else had to get this shit and make this shit make successful. So what successful businesses did he really
You know
have?
what a successful business is? A motherfucker who trick everybody out their money and file for bankruptcy.
Everybody got their fucking money.
And then when I went in, when I seen it, I was like, oh yeah, they gonna make him the president. Cause if it's a corporation, so who would you want to run the corporation? A businessman.
A businessman. And that's what I was telling Cuz earlier today. And he was like, well, I said, well, shit, this ain't no country. This a corporation. See, we keep thinking of being a country. We ain't in no fucking country. We in a corporation. See, a country is like England and shit, you know. They
Man,
ain't letting all these dyes and shit in their
I
food, all the different fat. You know, they watching their health.
look,
When
that's
you
just
have
like
to
you got everybody else. You got
see,
everybody now. You got everybody now buying LLCs, bro, which is just a license, right? At first, when everybody was getting in business, what was their name? Incorporated.
right,
They wanted to be incorporated. So once the company gets so big, you could trade it publicly. You could trade stocks on it. That's the only thing a corporation is.
right. See, you want to be a
You
corporation.
want to be a corporation.
You're a corporation. See, that's where O
PG
comes.
Entertainment Incorporated.
Right.
So
You
I've
want to
been
be
through the game.
But see, you want to be incorporated, but then you want to be a corporation. See, the corpse is like the top, but it's really the bottom. Because we saying
Right.
corpse, like dead, but it's really the top, but it's really the bottom.
Right.
But you want to be
Because a corporation, just like the United States, a corporation ain't to be ran by one person. You want everybody to buy in. The only thing that makes this company worth something if everybody want a piece of it. And you can
right,
run up the price and say, well, my corporation is worth $100 billion. So then you get everybody with $10 billion to buy into the corporation. Now the corporation big because look how many people is depending on this corporation to succeed.
right. But see, when you got an LLC, you limited as fuck because it's only you. See,
Yeah,
LLC is
you just limiting your liability on what might happen to this company.
limited liability corporation. See, when you go to the bank, this is why LLCs don't get loans right off. Because you go into the bank, you like, oh yeah, I want to get a loan on my LLC. People thinking that means something when really you going to the bank saying, I want to get a loan on my limited liability corporation. No, you want to be a
this is what you really
corporation.
saying. I want to get a limited I want to get a loan that I'm not liable for.
Right. No, I want a loan on my limited liability. See, when you
Right.
become a liability, you a
I just don't
problem.
want the repercussions for when I fuck this shit up.
Right.
I don't want you to be able to take my little bitty assets I do have and take them because now I'm being covered by the limited liability insurance that I bought.
See, when you get liability insurance, that only cover the other person. It
That's
don't cover you.
it only covers who you gonna fuck up.
Who you gonna fuck up?
It ain't
So,
covering nothing you got. You just saying my shit ain't worth nothing, but I don't want to
but
fuck
then,
nobody else shit up because I can't pay for it.
but then a limited liability is worse than that. So
Right.
we gotta think of what we doing. Every time you get an LLC, see, you're supposed to push your LLC all the way to a corporation.
All the way to a corporation.
And that's the game they not teaching. People think they
Nah,
got it.
because everybody taking a short. They taking a short bill. They taking the peanuts. They taking a little money.
They want a cheat
You
code.
you give a motherfucker who ain't never had shit 100,000. That's something to him. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It broke it all the way down. That's why contracts ain't what they used to be. That's why
Man,
rap. That's why you think rappers ain't getting paid no more because they shit is a LLC.
the paper is worth more than what the money costs to buy the shit. Now wrap that around your head. The paper is worth more than the money that it costs to buy the shit. So
Mm-hmm.
we got all these people running around with these limited liability corporations. See, I had to learn this shit when I got in business. When I started making all these different entities and doing all this different shit, and then a nigga with one job want to sit there and say, "Man, well, you even got no job, nigga. My name is on my fucking checks. My business name on my check. You work for fucking somebody else, and I ain't knocking you." Cause I got a job too. But I also deal in business to where I produce my own shit. So that's the type of shit that we need to be on. But also when you produce your own chicks, you want other people to buy into your shit. That's what's gonna make your shit viable. And that's when it comes with a corporation umbrella to where you can start selling stocks, bonds. You can start having board members and shit like that. You understand what I'm saying? See, people don't know the game. They just think I got an LLC, and they think that mean that they like a fucking CEO or something. You know what I'm saying? A limited liability corporation really don't even have a seat for a CEO. Now ain't that some shit?
Man, you can name yourself. Them ain't number titles. You can name yourself a CEO of your LLC.
A title. That's a title. That's a king without a throne.
Right.
Ain't no seat for him.
Ain't no
You in a
seat
limited
for them.
liability corporation. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's being too many chiefs and not enough Indians. So that mean ain't no tribe. You see what I'm saying?
Cause they got people actually believing that you can't do business unless you got one. Now you can't get taxed.
Oh, you can
Right.
do business
Yeah,
under
you
your
can do business.
Social
Man,
security card as a sole proprietor.
yeah.
You can use your social security number as a sole proprietor. And then they got people thinking that EIN number is better than your social security number. No, the fuck it's not. Only if you done fucked your social security number up, then the EIN number is better. Other than that, ain't no fucking difference with that shit. I do this shit, man.
It's like having a baby. When
You
you
know,
create an EIN, you just had another baby, bro.
just had another baby. So now, not only do you gotta take care of this one child you got another kid, buddy.
You got another kid, buddy.
Man, I so which one. Hey man, what fucking African was that fucking dumb? I gotta play this shit with cuz said, man, what African was that fucking dumb, man? Come over here and this nigga ain't traveling. Man, I'd have tried to swim back to the crib. Fuck it, man. I'd have tried to swim back to that bitch. Like, bro, ain't nobody try to go back home. Ain't nobody come save a nigga. But then there's some niggas who said, I came from Africa, I'm going back, and then niggas went back over there and no Africans. Man, we don't fucking know you, man. We ain't your motherfucking people, man. You don't know what tribe you came from. All this whole motherfucker ain't called Africa. When you get to Africa, it's not Africa. When you get to Africa, you either in Kenya, Botswana, or wherever the fuck you at. Africa don't call Africa Africa. We call Africa Africa in America. They don't call Africa Africa in Africa. That sound crazy, don't it? They don't
Uh-uh.
call Africa
Cause like I
Africa.
told you, all of the, like I told you, all of those are European made up names, bro. That's what the motherfuckers who tried to invade it called it. And that's who the motherfucking wanted to be the master. That they called it what they wanted to call it. They changed names and everything.
See, I asked the elder from over there, what is the whole continent called? I said, what is Africa called in Africa? They said, what is Africa? I said, shit, the continent over there. All the country combined? I said, yeah. He said, oh, it's a BBD. So what we call in Africa is originally a BBD. Look it up. I can't make this shit up. I can't make this shit up. And I'm speaking facts. So if I'm drunk, a lot of you niggas need to have a drink because this YouTube rhetoric shit is played out and it sounds stupid and it fucking sucks. Now we can't all come together, meet each other where we at, realize we all black folks just chilling and understand that don't none of us know shit because I don't know shit, nigga. I'm stupid. I'm ignorant in a motherfucker. I don't claim to be the smartest. I don't claim to be the most spiritualist, but I'm gonna make sure that I'm one of the realists. And I mean a realist as far as I'm a stick to the realist of the situations at hand, what we going through, because that's all we can do. Is too many people trying to be smarter than the next person, egos and all this shit, flaring this shit, man. Well, this ain't the time for that, man, because these people done already pulled a 52 fake out on a nigga ass, man, and it's going down right now. It's going down, man. Man, I don't think we gonna get no Africans. I think the shit that we talking about on this World War III, this New World Order talk, I think it's above everybody's head because I don't think that motherfuckers is really this far on this shit. I think they might need to watch the news tomorrow. But see, this shit I already knew. I ain't seen the news in time. You know what I'm saying? This shit I already knew it was written, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, time is catching up with us, man. This is Nation One Love After Dark. I'm gonna drop that link one more time. I don't know if you wanna get at them before we get out of here, man. But this is the second
Nah, I
stream.
want them to go back and play this and look at what really happened when it was supposed to be built on one thing, but the truth came out. And let's see who talk about that.
Right. Facts.
So to the
Facts.
next, so to the next time, people.
Man, to the next time, you know what I'm saying, man. Hey man, it's been real. I'm your host, Keith Norfolk, man. This is the Nation One Love podcast show. This Nation One Love After Dark. I'm gonna have to rename this stream to What Fucking African Was That Motherfucking Dumb, man. But hey man, salute. Much love. Peace and power.